Welcome back to Smarter R. So tonight I will share with you how to calculate ETCCDI index using R for PRCPTOT. Okay. First, step one is you need to load the required library, which is dplayer, library dplayer, and library lubricate. So you run this library, make sure that you already install it, and then load this library. So here we need to load the necessary library for this is for data manipulation and data handling. And then step two, we set the working directory. So my working directory, set working directory is in this folder. So I open my folder here. So I put my file here in the address folder here. You can just copy and then put it in your R, and then you set the working directory like this code, and run it again. So this is where the location of our data is stored. And then step three, we read the CSV file. So we read the CSV file. The data file name is chips JRB grid 005. So this is the data chips JRB grid 005. So this is our data. It looks like this. So we have daily data. So when we want to calculate ETCCDI index, at least we need to have a daily data. So we have daily data here, chips data set from 1981 to 2021. So I have put my first column year, second column month, and the third column as day. And V1 until V109 here is actually the grid point. So all the grid points. So in this code, I will run each grid point to calculate the precipitate for ETCCDI index for this data set. So I have read this data set and put it into a variable date with the header. Header must be true. So we read together the header here. Year, Monday, and V1 until 109. Oh, sorry. Now, step 4, we convert year, month, and day columns to date format. Here we will combine the year, month, and day column into a new date column in date using the paste and asDate function. So we will use paste function and asDate function to combine year, month, and day. So we have that year. We read this year, that month, and that day. Combine it, paste it, and combine it. Combine it first, and then paste it as date into a new data set here. So we run this date $date. Okay. Oh, I need to run this one first. Okay, I read the date variable, and then we need create a new date column. And then step 5, we create a data frame to store the annual precipitate result. So we create empty data frame, which is annual precipitate here, with a year column containing unique years from the original data. So this is the unique years from the original data. So it must be in the form of data frame. So we run this one. We create data frame to store the annual precipitate. Okay, not a problem. Now step 6, we define a function to calculate the precipitate value for a given vector of precipitation value. So we define a function to calculate precipitate by summing precipitation. We sum the precipitation values that is greater than or equal to 1. So definition for precipitate in ETCCDI index is it must be higher or equal to 1. So if there is any missing value, I will put it as 2. So we will handle missing value with an ARM as equal to 2. So we calculate PRCPTOT value using this step 6. So we run this. Okay, it's already calculated. And then we loop through each column because we want to read each column just now from column 4 until column 112, which is V1 until V109. V1 until V109. So this step, we loop through each column from V1 to V109 and calculate PRCPTOT for each year using the define function. We use the define function here to loop it by using this define function, annual PRCPTOT, call names. We repeat it, NA and row for annual PRCPTOT. Okay, then step 8, we nested loop to calculate PRCPTOT for each year and each column by using this function. For in N row, annual PRCPTOT, year, in I, annual PRCPTOT, column name, and then we calculate it with this function. Calculate PRCPTOT, call name, that year equal to year, and then close it. And then we can run all of this step from step 7 to 8 all together. So it's very fast. Calculation is very fast. And then step 9, we save the annual PRCPTOT result to CSV file. So we use this write.csv. We save the final PRCPTOT result to a new CSV file without including the row names. False. Without including the row names. So annual PRCPTOT is, I write it as chips JRB PRCPTOT. So run this one. Okay, now it finished running. Our result is in chips JRB PRCPTOT. Chips JRB PRCPTOT. Okay, this file. So this is our result. So we have here V1 until 109. So this is precipitation for every year. That if there is rainfall higher than 1 millimeter, it will be calculated for this year. So this is not annual rainfall. Annual rainfall, when we calculate annual rainfall, it will be higher than 0. But for this case, ETCCDI index, it will calculate higher than or equal to 1 millimeter. After that, they will assume that that is a rainfall event. So we calculate here. So we get the result. For example, V1 year, you can see the data. Maybe we can look the data here. You can see the pattern of the data from 1981 to 2021. 1981. So some of the rainfall is higher than 3,000. Some maybe during La Nina, and some of it's lower than 2,000, maybe during the El Nino event in Malaysia. So I think that's all for how to calculate PRCPTOT based on ETCCDI indices. Okay, thank you for watching.